Hey, what's up you guys? This is Steffi, aka In My Humble Opinion, and welcome back to another video. In today's video, we're doing another TV series review, and we are talking about the upcoming Netflix docuseries entitled Naomi Osaka, which will be available globally on Netflix starting July 16th. So Naomi Osaka is a docuseries directed by Garrett Bradley, who was recently known for her Academy Award nominated documentary Time. Executive produced by LeBron James, Naomi Osaka is a 3-episode docuseries that follows the young superstar tennis player as she navigates her life in the high-demanding sport of competitive tennis while under the intense scrutiny of public opinion as well as pressure from herself. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking if you've been around on my channel for quite some time. You might be like, sports? Oh, really? I didn't take you for the athletic type. And here's the thing, I don't really care about sports except for a very small handful, and that includes tennis. In fact, some of you might not know this, but I actually grew up playing tennis until about high school. That's when I stopped. My mom grew up playing tennis and she was actually very good, played tournaments here and there, and she even named me after her favorite tennis player, Steffi Graf.
And then she's got to keep up that attitude. 103 miles an hour. Steffi Graf on that serve.
I say all of that to say that that's why, for me, I was personally really interested in watching this docuseries, was because tennis does kind of lightly run in my family, and also because as an Asian person, I think it's amazing that we have Naomi Osaka, who is half Asian herself, being like literally at the top of the sport right now, so we gotta support. But as in all my TV series reviews here on this channel, I'm gonna be talking about my personal pros and cons, and then I'm gonna give you my overall rating, as well as if I think you should take the time to watch it. And before we begin, I just wanna say thank you so much to my friends over at Netflix for sending me an advanced screener of this docuseries. And now, without further ado, let's get into this review. So let's start with some of the pros. So my first pro and my big pro to this docuseries is that I really enjoy that this feels like a living, breathing documentary. So this docuseries specifically follows Naomi Osaka during a 2-year time span where a lot of pivotal, career-defining, culture-shifting events happened. You see her competing at major tournaments like US Open and the Australian Open. You see how she kind of deals with the death of Kobe Bryant, who was a huge mentor of hers. Of course, the pandemic, and then you also see how she responded to the death of George Floyd and the Black Lives Matter movement. As you can tell, these are events that happened fairly recently, and because of that, it feels like both Naomi Osaka and the director are trying to make sense of all of the events as they are unfolding in real time. And I felt like this added a real layer of honesty and authenticity to the storytelling, because that's how life really works. You don't have all the answers now, nor do you have the wisdom of time and hindsight to help you make decisions. When we're presented with difficult circumstances and obstacles, we try to just make the best decision possible during that time, and we just go from there. And you see Naomi Osaka do that on several occasions during this docuseries. My second pro to this docuseries is that it de-glamorized the life of a tennis superstar. So to a lot of us, we only really see the end product. We see those moments when they are finally playing at these major tournaments, or when they even go on to win. We don't really know what the build-up to those moments look like all of the hard work, sacrifice, time, and energy that is spent to getting to that level. And I thought this docuseries did a really great job in capturing what that life is really like, especially when you're at the top, like Naomi Osaka. A moment that really stuck out to me is when, I believe this is either episode 1 or episode 2, when Naomi has just purchased a new home, I believe in Los Angeles, and it's a gorgeous home, and her assistant is on the phone trying to make sure that all of this new gym equipment will be coming so that Naomi can use the personal gym that's at her house. And you're like, wow, this is incredible. But then several moments later within that same episode, you come to find out that she was actually really scared staying at that home by herself because she was all alone, and she ended up just spending the night on her phone. So it was sobering moments like that that made you really evaluate and think, wow, even though there's a lot of opportunity and fame and wealth that comes with being a very successful tennis player, there's a lot that we actually don't see. My third pro to this docuseries is how it explores identity. So if you didn't know, Naomi Osaka is half Japanese, half Haitian. She was born in Japan, moved to the United States, and she actually plays for Japan. And I believe she's going to be playing for Japan during the Olympics. But I love that this docuseries gives her the opportunity to speak about what her identity and cultural background means to her, especially when you get to episode 3 and you see how she responds to the Black Lives Matter movement. And I also love that we got to hear from her parents as well, being that they were in an interracial marriage relationship in Japan. Alright, so now let's talk about some of the cons. So my first con to this docuseries is that it kind of sucks that they weren't able to include Naomi Osaka's most recent news-making headline move, where she actually backed out of the French Open due to anxiety and depression. And she was actually fined $15,000 for skipping the press conference because she believes that these press conferences can create self-doubt and thus affecting her mental health. And obviously, this isn't just a huge moment for her professional career, but it was also just a huge moment in the world of sports for an athlete at her level to be speaking up and standing up for her mental health. And obviously, I know these are things that production, the director, Naomi Osaka, and her team can't foresee was going to happen, but because it just happened recently, it's kind of unfortunate that that wasn't able to be included in the docuseries, but oh well. And my second con to this docuseries, and it's a very minor one, but it's the color grading. I just personally wasn't a fan of how this docuseries was color graded. It kind of looks like it was washed out by the sun. It's not the most colorful, vibrant visuals. Yeah, I was just like, meh, about the way that this was color graded. Very minor thing. So my overall rating for Naomi Osaka, the docuseries, is a very strong B+, potentially on the cusp of an A-. Naomi Osaka is an intimate, vulnerable snapshot into the life of one of tennis's young rising stars. While I wasn't the biggest fan of how this docuseries was color graded, that detail ultimately did not affect my overall viewing experience. What makes Naomi Osaka an interesting subject is not just the excitement she brings to the tennis court, but what she represents. A young biracial athlete who isn't afraid to push and challenge the status quo. It's watching a young woman coming of age while simultaneously stepping into the ebbs and flows of greatness, and she's only just getting started. And alright, that's about it for this review. If you liked it, please give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and please turn on the notification button down below so you know when a new video from me comes out. And comment down below, are you planning on watching this docuseries? I believe you totally should. Even if you aren't the biggest fan of tennis, or if you don't follow tennis, or if you don't know who Naomi Osaka is, which if you don't, I'd be really surprised, because I feel like her recognition is beyond tennis now at this point. But even if you aren't fully entrenched in the tennis world, I still feel like this is a docuseries that you would enjoy regardless, and it's just really interesting to watch her life unfold. This docuseries will be available globally July 16th on Netflix. And speaking of Netflix, I just want to say thank you to them for sending me an advanced screener of the docuseries. But yeah, that's pretty much it for this video. As always, everything I said was just my own personal thoughts and all my humble opinion, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!